Two cold cases that have haunted the Tucson community for years.
Days after Isabel Celis went missing.
At 13 years old, Maribel Gonzalez's body was found in Avra Valley in 2014.
That Isabel Celis is not the only child who has met this fate.
Two young girls gone without a trace. Their two families pleaded for answers.
Please, to the person or persons who have Isabel, tell us your demands. Tell us what you want.
My heart is so broken.
The bodies of both girls found in the same rural patch of desert in Pima County.
The community is hurting right now for a little girl that we prayed would come home.
I'm sickened, I'm hurt, I'm in pain, I am heartbroken. My baby girl, why they left her like that? Like a piece of trash.
Police across the state combed through thousands of tips as two investigations became one. What happened to 6-year-old Isabel Celis and 13-year-old Maribel Gonzalez?
On Friday, September 14th, 36-year-old Christopher Matthew Clements was indicted on multiple felony charges to include the murders of Isabel Mercedes Celis and Maribel Victoria Gonzalez.
A suspect behind bars and a possible end to a years-long nightmare. We're still working to learn how the loved ones of these little girls are handling the news of this arrest. The families weren't alone in all these years. So much of southern Arizona has followed these cases since the disappearances, up to today when we finally learned who's charged for their deaths. Take a good look at your screen right here. 36-year-old Christopher Matthew Clements. Now, here's what we know about him so far. He faces 22 felony charges. That includes first-degree murder and sexual exploitation of a minor. We also know he has a history of sex crimes in at least 2 other states. He's currently being held in the Maricopa County Jail in Phoenix on unrelated charges. Clements will be extradited to Tucson. Pima County Attorney Barbara Walt called his arrest long overdue.
Christopher Clements was actually at liberty for the murder of Isabel Celis for a bit longer than she was alive.
The county attorney and law enforcement are keeping details close tonight. We're working to find out what, if any, connection Clements had to these families. Well, the first child to go missing is Isabel Celis. She was taken from her home on the east side. KOLD News 13's Heather Jansen is there now. Heather, plenty of neighbors remember that morning.
Yeah, that's right, Craig. All of this started in this neighborhood back in 2012. The Celis family has since moved on from this neighborhood since tragedy hit. But many of the neighbors were here when it happened, and they still remember it today. Now, we walked up and down this neighborhood, and I've been told the entire neighborhood felt the hurt then. They feel some closure now.
They have a most beautiful family, you know.
Ann Clevenger lives down the street from the former Celis family home. When she heard the news that someone was charged for Isabel's kidnapping and murder, she didn't believe it. She was always unsure anyone would be charged in the case.
In the back of my mind, no. No, because it wasn't too long.
What didn't come as a shock, though, learning of the connection between Isabel's murder and 13-year-old Maribel Gonzalez.
That doesn't surprise me, in the least.
Both girls found in the same rural area of Pima County. 2 girls, Clevenger says, gone too soon.
And I tell you, it's really heart-wrenching. And the only thing I can think of is to support them.
She keeps a close eye on her neighborhood and remembers the day that followed Isa's disappearance very well.
Since this happens, we've seen bicycling down the street, the dad. We've seen her two younger brothers going playing frisbee. We've seen the grandpa walking down the street just wondering.
Today she holds Isa and her family close, wearing the shirt she wore when she helped with the searches all those years ago.
They'll never be able to share the bedroom that they repainted for her and all the gifts they had waiting for her to come home. You know, it's all gone.
Clevenger hopes that this morning's news can help both the Celis family and the Gonzalez family find peace of mind. On the east side near Broadway in Craycroft, Heather Jansen, KOLD News 13, live local late breaking.
Thanks, Heather. We keep mentioning how long police have been working these cases, so let me provide a better timeline. First, Isabel Celis. She was reported missing from her bed around 8 a.m. on April 21st, 2012. Her remains weren't found until nearly 5 years later near Trico and Avra Valley roads. That was March 2017. By the end of the month, DNA analysis confirmed it was her body. Then today, police announced the indictment of Christopher Clements in Isabel's death. Next, Maribel Gonzalez. She left home on June 3rd, 2014. Loved ones said she went to visit a friend. The next day, she did not come home. Family reported her missing 2 days later. On June 6th, her remains found near Trico and Avra Valley roads. DNA tests confirmed it on June 20th that it was her. Then today, police announced the indictment of Christopher Clements in her death. KOLD News 13's Melissa Egan is digging into the details of the suspect, and we will keep tracking any new developments in this case.